What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Two Guys, One Room. You know, in full disclosure, this is the second time we're filming this.
We filmed like one before this, it was like an hour long.
Yeah.
And we found out that the microphone wasn't working. Plus, the new camera that we were using ran out of battery.
Fuck me.
So, this is a repeat of the first episode.
So
I think it's gonna be funny that we're gonna say everything again the same way.
This is what movie stars must feel like, saying the same shit over and over again. Well,
how's it natural, man? It's so fake.
it's not natural at all. Everything in front of a camera is not natural. But yeah, let's get into it again. So yeah, the topic that we're gonna talk about today is actually friends, and actually your circle of friends, and whether they matter or whether they shape your character.
Yeah, do they matter when it comes to like shaping a character? Like, can you be who you are as a person, like by yourself, or does the friends that you have, the people around you, or the environment around you, do they shape you in a way? Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so if this is like your first time tuning in, you may not know that previously Josh and I, we were roommates, not housemates, roommates. So we spent a lot of time together, and in fact, we were actually I think we were one of the first few friends that we talked to.
Fuck this shit.
This is exactly what I said.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, we are actually.
But basically, like, this feels to a natural saying word by word what we said before, so things are going to change. Yeah. But basically, we were one of the first few people that we talked to.
Yeah, so he was the first friend that I met during uni, and I was his as well.
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time, like almost every freaking day together. And eventually, we also... I cannot...
Bro, you can do this!
I wanted to go spinning buddies.
Yeah,
I cannot do it. I'm trying so hard, Josh.
So let's just say that we have a group of friends and it's a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And it's called Spinning Buddies.
Yeah.
And we're like, so we're the first to meet, ma. So we would say that we're like the founder and co-founders of Spinning Buddy. But what's funny is that like Spinning Buddy later on turned into Gang Basakola, which is another group of friends with the same guys but different girls. And I would say that this Gang Basakola is actually initiated by what's the name of the hormone? Oxytocin. It's a hormone for love, and the reason why I'm saying this is because like a few guys from from Spinning Buddies, they fell in love with some girls, and that's actually how the whole group came out.
Yeah, actually I seriously love this story so much. The reason that we're called Spinning Buddies is because we used to spin on the fucking street on the road.
Sidewalk where cars pass by, and it's not even a normal road. It's like a highway. It's a highway.
Highway. Like even on like small roads, even like the inside road in front of like Hell Down, we used to spin across the street.
Small roads,
we would spin across the freaking street, and so good times.
Yeah, we spin like
yeah, like this, and then we just spin in circles
while walking up.
Those were easier times. But yeah, so we wanted to talk about whether the company you keep, the company that you keep, whether they matter or not. So in our university lives, we mixed I think like the Gang Basakola was the group of people that we mixed with on a daily basis.
Let's just say they are like a core group of people.
I like that word. A core group of people. So every other day we will be with them, but we also have our own individual circles. So like for me, I had outside our dancing circles, what's it called, like sports circles, and I think he had more sports related.
Badminton, futsal, but other than that, like I do have different circles when I do different things also. Like I said earlier, I have a group of friends. I have a group. I mean, not for friends. Dinner, what the fuck? Yeah, oh my god. Friends for dinner, friends for gaming, friends for studying. They are all different groups of friends, and the reason why I have different groups is because like I wanted to find people that share the same interests. So dinner will be more like food, cheap cheap and good food. Gaming will be people who enjoy gaming. Studying is people that are not Justin. And people that are willing to study, like for example, we study from like evening after dinner until like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, the next day 9 a.m. again, another test. So just to reconsolidate the memory, you know. Study everything, then vomit everything out, then forget everything.
That's why I don't do that, guys.
Yeah, so people who share the same interests is the reason why I have different social groups.
And like actually diving deeper into that was something that we found out was that we have different social circles and different groups of friends in better terms because of the shared interests that we have. So like for I mean like you have to eat dinner but I feel that they enjoy each other's company during the dinner conversations. Yes. So it's more of like what happens at dinner than the actual eating dinner.
I think like I said again, it's chemistry.
Chemistry.
Yeah, so you can find the people that share the same interests, but like when you guys do it together, not sex, do like the stuff that you guys enjoy doing together. It's all about chemistry, how you guys talk, how do you guys hang out together. Is there like a bond that can be built in between? So that's something important as well while doing that.
And the thing for me, right, that I actually felt is actually I wanted to ask you about this was that because you have so many different social circles, so many different groups of friends and they all do such different things. For me, right, I mean this is a personal issue that I have is that when I have so many different social groups of friends, it became that I know a lot of people, I know many different people, but I still feel very alone. Because when I just want to hang out with somebody, then I don't know who to call. Because if I play captain ball with you, to me, you're just to play captain ball. And then if I dance with you, it's just to dance. Not to say that I don't enjoy myself during that time, I have a blast. But outside of that context of why and where I hang out with you, I won't really call you. So then for me, right, it was a question of does having many separate groups of friends actually make you feel or less connected to everybody as a whole?
Well, for me, I don't try very hard, but I do sometimes try a bit to blend them together. So for example, if I'm playing futsal, then I do know that there are a few people in my gaming friends that do enjoy futsal or do like sports as well. So I'll try to invite them to have fun. Then at the same time, we can spend more time, not just for futsal. I can know more about you. Do you like, what kinds of game do you like as well? And I think that's also the importance of a core group of friends. Like you said, just now when I say futsal, dinner, gaming, that's just like the not very close.
Outside groups of friends.
Side friends.
Side hosts.
But there's always a core group of friends that we go to when shit hits the fan. Is that the right term? Yeah.
Shit hits the fan.
Hits the fan, yes. And that's where the value of that bring in. That's why we're discussing about this.
And I think that right now, because I'm sure that many of you have this type of what we call side friends, where you have activities or hobbies that you have, and then you have groups of people that do that, and then they become your friends. But I think what we should hone in on today is actually developing that, as Josh put it, core group of friends. So maybe it can be anything as serious as maybe your support groups and you really trust them, or whether it's just that, again, as Josh said, whether you have a lot of chemistry with them and you really just enjoy their company. So for me, I felt that a lot of times these core group of friends, they came along by accident, by chance. So for me, when I came into... because
love is not a chance. You make love.
This is why we cannot have awkward silences, because random shit comes out. So even when one of my first friends was in foundation, Sun Wei, so it also kind of happened by chance. He wasn't even the first person I talked to. The first person I talked to was the person sitting next to me, which was Harif So Yong Wee, which is our what's that called? Water polo player. And then I cannot remember. Until now I hear Yong. His name is Fu and Yong.
Mr. Fu.
But I cannot remember his full name really. But those are the first 3 people I hung out with. And after a while, we grew distant. Maybe because we don't share similar interests, or maybe because they found people that, not to say better but they can click with better. And eventually, I also found Sun Wei. I found Shen.
And what do you think? Why did Sun Wei and Shen click better with you as compared to Saul and all?
I think it was because after a while, when we started hanging out a lot, we had, again, it goes back to what you said, you have a lot of similar interests. But for Sunway lah, specifically, I think it was because we started learning things together, like ping pong. We both picked up ping pong from scratch in foundation. We used to play like 5-6 hours together. I also started playing pool because of Sunway. And because I came from Penang, I damn ulu, and like there's no culture in Penang that you just go into a building and play pool. In fact, there's no freaking building for you to play pool also.
Yep.
Like if you play pool, it means you hate社会already. You confirm it's into gangsterism already. And because like it's just damn shady like Penang. It's not a good place to play.
How about CCs?
Oh dude, CC's got in Penang also, but
You weren't allowed to go into CCs, right?
I was not even allowed to look.
Have you been into one?
Once, only in KL, never in Penang.
Oh my god.
In Penang, I still have not entered the CC before. And like, I was so conditioned, right, that I'm damn fearful to step in. Like if I walk in, suddenly my mom will appear. Oh my god! Like,
You walk in then gambling already. Online gambling now. Fingers chopped off already.
I still remember what my mother told me. She was like, last time when I was like, I think primary school or somewhere there. She was like, Justin, the people that go to CC are lifeless people that don't know what to do. But I thought they become all e-gaming already.
You do know you can do assignments in the CC also, right?
As if I knew that or she knew that it's the vast majority of people in CC is all to play games, ma.
Okay.
So then even like the one time I stepped into a CC in KL, it wasn't even for me to play. It was for me to watch a friend play.
Then what's the point of you being there?
That's why exactly. They
Support him.
Playing. Yeah, I was just like, oh, so this is what people do.
Yeah, anyways, on top of what Justin just said, right? You were talking about what?
Like Sunway and how we got close.
Yeah, he's talking about chemistry and all, but I feel like the other part would be people who are willing to accept you for being who you are as well. There is a story, I think Justin can tell you about this later on, but like we all enjoy being in our own natural habitat. So we all enjoy being ourselves. And having a group of friends that are open to see you like messing up around and like being so high it's very comforting like in a lot of ways. You don't have to act up and like put another face on when you're with them. So when you feel comfortable with them, it's also
feeling accepted.
Feeling accepted. So you're open to be who you are, and that's where you really show your true side as well, which I think what friends are really are for you to talk and just have fun and be yourself. Yeah, and about this let Justin tell you about a very funny story about
the Sohai.
Yeah, the Sohai skill.
So like a very, very good example of being able to be yourself was because we were site graduates, so there was an assignment that we had to develop a skill. So kind of like if you guys have ever done like personality tests or like how like self-esteem skills and stuff like that. So we had to actually develop one. So we were cracking our head as to what type of trait should we try to develop or scale. And during class, this guy stood up in the middle of class and he just threw something into the air for no goddamn reason. So we were all like, what the hell is he doing like in the middle of a lecture? So we all could not figure out what the hell he was doing. And then we started thinking like, dude, we shouldn't do a skill about this fellow. And then the first word that came out was like, you're quite Sohai, huh? And then we just decided to do it on Sohai.
The Sohai skill. And just to let you know, the skill is actually quite famous. I heard like lecturers do, show their new
they actually, even after we left, they still use it.
It's used as an example for people right now.
Such pride to have a friend like this. His legacy will live on.
But my name isn't stated in there, so it's fine.
Plagiarism.
To be honest, I don't even remember like throwing anything in the classroom. I think it's something so often that I do that I don't even recall doing it.
Even like this doesn't register in his brain.
Fuck man. Yeah, that's a very good example. And if you guys, I lost my train of thought.
This happens very often. By the way, you just talk away, just like gone. Dude, the mic fell into your shirt.
Fuck. It's horny mic.
Trying to reach his nipples.
Suck it.
Yeah, so one of the questions that we really wanted to ask actually, right, was that is there a perfect group of people, a perfect group of friends, or
optimum,
yeah, the word that you use. Is there an optimum group of people that we would want to be around? Or more likely like if you are maybe just entering uni or you have an issue with making friends, because I do meet a lot of people that have that issue. They have problems making friends, they have problems talking to new people, and they're very uncomfortable in new social environments.
Yep.
So, what we hope to help you guys with is that if that's you, and you're looking to like, how do I make new friends, or maybe is there somebody that I should be looking for? We just want to help you debunk that real.
Yeah, or if you're thinking I'm new to uni, I'm with a bunch of friends right now, but I don't feel comfortable with them. Is there like a better group of friends that I could make, a group of friends that would help me grow more? Or are you being in a condition where you're feeling uncomfortable because you're in your non-comfort zone?
Non-comfort zone.
And who knows, like maybe it'll help you grow one day. And those are the things that we'll be talking about today. So let's start.
Yeah. I think that something that we can both agree on actually is that, perhaps I didn't phrase the question properly, is that there's no optimum, or like there's no blanket statement. Yeah, there's no blanket statement to say that this group of friends is the best fit for you. It's a very personal thing. And something that Josh can really attest to is that because we need to actually come out of our comfort zones, or at least if it's not coming out of comfort zones, meet different people. And by meeting different people, you will then realize, actually, maybe this group I don't really like hanging out with. Just like when I started my foundation, the first few friends that I made were not necessarily my core group of friends that we mentioned just now, but I still talk to them. And maybe like for other stuff, if we do sports or something, then I hang out with them. But they don't develop into my core group of friends. So I think a very good kind of blueprint, for lack of better terms, the best blueprint is to just meet new people, to just try and talk to everybody. But again, I can empathize if you came from like another state like I did, because when I first
very foreign.
Yeah, not only is it foreign, but you feel so left out because everybody has topics to talk about that you have no idea what's going on. Like again, like the story that I always use is that when I came in here, immediately cliques form based on which high school they came from.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I'm not from this state. Come to think of it, the reason that I mixed with Harim is because they were not from that state also.
What? How's that a reason?
No, because like they also were not from Selangor.
Oh, okay.
So like I think Saul, I can't remember which state he was from really.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So like all the non-state.
See, there's always something similar,
There's always something similar. And I think that you just need to find what's that similarity that really bonds all of you guys together. So like for us, with that gang bus sekolah, we just appreciated how sohai all of us were. So even Aiman, Jahan, William, we were all just a bunch of dumb shit people. I think we all appreciated that, and it was fun. It was very difficult to offend.
Let's get this straight. I don't think we would have like bonded as well if there were no like couples.
Yeah.
I think the couples kept us together.
Yeah, they glued us together. So I think like for you guys, if you guys are looking for that, you should just immerse yourself. Really try and put yourself out there.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing that I really enjoy while meeting new people is that I'm the type of person that likes taking in new perspectives. So like, every time when I meet someone, I want to know more about their background. And that's where, like, to learn more about someone's background, right, you need to know them more. People won't just say everything about themselves to you.
Here's my secret.
Yeah. So like there must be like a relationship that's formed, and that's the part where I enjoy. Because when you form relationships, you get to know more. Like for example, like something. Stop using examples, Josh. You don't have any examples.
Okay, what?
I have no examples. Even if I have, it's too specific. Anyways, when you learn more about someone, you get to see like different perspectives from different angles. So like someone would think of assignment as like, oh shit, I need to get like an A+ for this one. But another person from a different background, from a different setting, a different environment, might think differently about an assignment. She or he might think of an assignment as something to pass or something to just get a cert because this is faggot. So you get to learn about different perspectives on different things, and I like to enrich my perspective because like through those perspectives I'll be able to see things in very different ways. And in the future, I think, and it already has helped me a lot during work and also like when I was going through uni, because like, should I just say it? Because the flow is different already.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, cause like even during fuck my life.
Is Jeff talk again?
As you start to meet different people, right?
He just have segments of when he loses his train of thought. I think got 1 6-minute video there.
What was that?
When you, I don't know, I forgot.
Yeah, again, like then you start to realize when you meet people from different background, especially people who has gone through a lot, right? Who have gone through a lot. Those are the people that you find to be more resilient. Like even like you can even find out while doing assignments with them, like if something goes wrong, right, they won't be the first to panic one. But if you compare those people to people who are very sheltered, very protected by the family, then you always see that there's a very clear difference in terms of like handling stress and solving a problem. So that's the very, very big thing that I found out.
I can really attest to that, especially with handling stress.
Yeah, having stress.
Because when you haven't been exposed to enough, well, not even enough, if you haven't really been exposed in general,
I think there's always a threshold, right?
Yeah. Like if you haven't been exposed to a lot of things in life, right, then in turn you're not really prepared to deal with them. And again, like Josh mentioned, when you're really, really protected, and then when you go out, maybe to me, this is another reason that maybe sometimes people find it difficult to blend into social situations. Because in my life, right, like when I was talking to somebody, I realized how often I have had to change my environments, because I was born in Penang, but I grew up in the States. So I grew up being one of the only Asian kids in that school, which is like something new to get used to already. All the people there, they're white, they're black, there's very few Asians there. So I already needed to blend in with Americans, with different types of people already. Mm-hmm. And when I came back to Penang, that was when my journey really, really started. Because while I was there, I don't really remember being ostracized or made fun of as the Asian kid, because we're too young. So I don't think like 4-year-olds are being racist. So at the time, they were still very accepting, because that was all I knew. I didn't know that, Malaysia and stuff like that. I only knew how to be around these people. And when I came back, then that's when a lot of people had shit to say about it, because I had such a thick American accent. Legit, right? No one in the school could understand my American accent. So nobody wanted to talk to me. And I would cry every single day because nobody is there to talk to me. A lot of people made fun of me. So having to do that, right, it's like I need to start from zero when you guys have already started with people that you know. And on top of that, I couldn't speak Mandarin when I first came back to Penang, and I cannot speak Hokkien, which sucks as well.
In Penang,
like not a lot of people speak. I personally feel more people speak Hokkien than Mandarin in Penang, because that is our dialect there. So imagining that, right, is that from primary school, I have to force myself out of my comfort zone. I need to talk to people. I need to make a fool of myself, because I cannot speak Chinese. I really needed to learn from zero. And then when I entered high school, I finally mastered how to speak Chinese. Everybody started speaking Hokkien in high school, because that's when dialects became like super cool. Then I need to learn dialect from scratch all over again. And then I come to KL, and again I'm thrown, like, I think that I paid my dues.
I think you have, because those experiences really helped you.
Yeah, and the thing is that for the first 12 years, I had to go through all that shit, and then I come into KL, and guess what? Starts all over again. Mm-hmm. All of my connections gone, throw down the drain, and I come here, I start from zero all over again. And
but in a way, it helps you be more comfortable mixing with people as well.
Yeah, precisely. Which is why I wanted to really like hammer down that point of like being sheltered and everything. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really do much for you. Because had I been sheltered, I wouldn't have had that resilience. Trust me, it was still difficult, it was still uncomfortable, but the thing is I slipped into it a little bit easier, so that even later on when I went to work, because so I think a compare contrast that between Josh and myself is that I think Josh started really forcing his growth around like year 1, year 2-ish, around there. But for me, right, I had already been doing that my entire freaking life. Mm-hmm. So the comfort levels were very, very different. Yep. Like he was really forcing himself to come out of his comfort zone. For me, I was super chill. Mm-hmm. Like I went in, alright, new people, I have to do this over again. But for him, he made a very, very conscious decision to, I want to meet new friends, I want to make new connections and new relationships, and that's exactly what he did. Mm-hmm. But that's why okay, again, it's like becoming a TED Talk. You shouldn't judge people on where they are because everybody went through a different journey. They have different circumstances. And you will find that out when you start meeting new people. That they all come from different backgrounds. They all had a different set of hands that was dealt to them. So by interacting with these type of people, I think that it really gives you fresh perspective about different people.
Yeah. And also the mindset in which we use, the mindset in which we have when we, meet these new people as well. Because I know people for a fact that, they hang out with other groups just to get that social status, just because, they're cool, they're famous.
Cool.
Yeah. So that
I think we were cool to each other.
I don't think we're ever the cool. We're
people look at us, what the fuck?
Lame ass people sitting there doing spinning.
Turning in circles. We'll probably made fun of behind our backs.
Anyways, I feel like the mindset when you mix around is very important. Going into it with the right mindset. I feel like if you do it just for the purpose of status or social class or fame or whatever, it's a very short-term thing. So what if you achieve that already? So what's the meaning of a friendship now? I'm pretty sure you do get to meet new people and learn more about them during the friendship. But if you go into the friendship with the mindset of I want to be famous, then and if you achieve that, what's next? So going in with the right mindset is something very crucial as well.
And I think that kind of that mindset, again, it's not a blanket statement, but the mindset should be for you. Again, not like a hidden agenda for you, but it should be for your growth. It should be to make you a happier person. Because if you in the end get a group of friends that you're really, really comfortable with, that you enjoy being around, then I feel that the other aspects in your life it becomes a bit easier.
Yep.
Because to me, I always use an analogy of this is your home base, your home ground. And your home ground is good, it's secure, because you know that you're surrounded with people that you trust. Then it's easier for you to be able to be pushed out of your comfort zone. And I feel that with the relationship that Josh and I had, it was like that as well. Because we understand that we have each other's backs, because we stay in the same freaking room. There's nowhere for us to escape each other. So I think that me being able to push him only came from building a trust between us first.
Yeah.
And that also had to come from us being around each other first, giving each other a chance to build that friendship. And once we both understood that, hey, I'm here for you and I got your back, there was a mutual respect and a mutual trust, then it was easier for him to then kind of maybe, I'm not sure if he did use me as kind of a safe ground, but maybe if he cannot, he can always bounce back on me and I'll push you back out.
That's how the relationship blossomed, I would say. Yeah, and also something Justin said earlier, being mutual. So you both must have how do I say this?
The intent.
The intention of being friends.
You both need to try.
If it's a one-way thing, then I guess it's very hard on the person. Whatever. Just
he lost That's the fourth.
Because I said this earlier in the video.
It's not funny, you see. I think this video, I'm just gonna read all the times that he lost his
Please don't do it.
Our very first episode, in fact, first 2-3 episodes also, they confirmed got one that I can.
Yeah. I think it's just me for this shit.
His brain is just spazzing out of his. But there needs to be a mutual desire to develop that friendship. So I think just to wrap this up real quick, this topic is that we really, really encourage you guys to go out and try, not to say try new things, more of meet new people. Meet new people, be in different social circles. And again, if you go into those social circles and you don't like it, at least you know. You're not curious about it, you won't ever have that, what if I had done that? No. Go and try it, really experience it, and if you don't like it, then at least that maybe this group of friends, they're just good as acquaintances, but not good as your core group of friends. I think that's a really perfect transition into the next question, was that should there be groups of friends that you avoid?
Yeah, and this is actually quite a controversial topic, I would say, because some of you listening might be the people that we'll be describing later on.
Okay, quick. I'll leave the disclaimer for later.
So again, like what Justin always says, there is no blanket statement. There's no right or wrong who to avoid, what type of people to avoid, or what type of people to hang out with. It's very subjective, and at the end, as long as it's beneficial for yourself and also the people that you're hanging out with, then I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. And like the reason that we wanted to include this topic, because we did have like a discussion about it, whether we should even put it in, because again, it is a little too controversial. Yeah. But the reason that we really want to bang this point home is because that I feel we both agree that there aren't people that you should go out of your way to avoid, in the sense that but again, there's a lot of stigma and there's a lot of stereotyping of, if a person does this, he is this kind of person. And that's the exact thing that we want to avoid. That's why we always, for me, I always make sure to let you guys know that it's coming from personal experience. So I'm not saying blanket generalizing things, but it's more of my personal experience. So like the easiest thing to talk about is that people that smoke or people that club. Again, I have a lot of friends that smoke and I have zero judgment for them. But for me, I will never smoke a cigarette. Half because my lungs are shit, half because I just don't want to. But it doesn't mean that I cannot be friends with people who do smoke. And the thing is that like a lot of times, unfortunately, even if I'm hanging out with a person or a friend of mine that smokes and other people see it, it's just that perception, that stigma that people have, which hopefully by discussing topics like this, we can help break that down.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, just to give you guys like a very specific example, like for me, I did have friends who were in the clubbing scene and they went to pubs a lot. So I joined those group of friends eventually, and quite frankly, I had a really good time. I really, really enjoyed those few months that I was in that scene. And the thing that again, I don't want to think that people that club are bad. I don't want you to think that people that club are bad, because it's just an activity. It's just another thing that people do. There are people that play futsal that are total dickheads also. So it's not to say that if you club, you're bad, which again is a stigma that we hope to break. So the thing that I gathered from there is actually that when I was with the people that started bringing me to these type of scenes, I noticed a very distinguishable trait in their character. It's that they're super proactive. They are just go-getters, and that is something that I really, really wanted to improve in myself, because I am very difficult to make decisions. And
conservative.
Not to say conservative, but I make decisions slow, and when I make a decision, I'm usually not very confident about it, and I always question myself. So I'm always second guessing myself. I don't really have a lot of confidence in myself. So a lot of people misconstrue the fact that if I'm loud or I'm brash, I'm very sociable, that I have everything together. And again, from the story that I told you guys just now, it's just because I've done it many, many, many times. I've been thrown into different social circles my entire life. I've had to adapt quickly. So it's just a skill that I picked up. But I still have an innate, I don't really see 看不起自己 for lack of better terms.
Look up to.
Yeah, I was gonna say look up. Yeah, but when I was mixing these type of friends, they were all like, dude, if you want to try this, let's go up. They're the type of person that if they see a fence that says don't climb, they're like, let's climb it just to see what happens. They do first and they think later. And it's not to say it's good or bad, it's just different, because the people that I think our core group of friends, they are not like that at all. They are analyzers, so they will plan out the whole trajectory of your jump and everything.
The angle, the Newton force.
Then they go tan over cos cosine. Yeah, so they put a lot of thought into it, but in the end, most of the time, I won't say all the time, they don't even take the first step into that.
So there's so much thinking that people keep analyzing and keep thinking about, what's the risk and what's the reward, how much risk, how much reward, that so many times we didn't even initiate didn't even execute the whole thing just because we spent so much time thinking on it that we don't even have time to execute.
It's just plan, and then there's no execution.
Yeah, and this can go into things as simple as planning out trips or everything. I think for our 2 years in uni, I don't think we went out more than 5 times.
Quite frankly. I think we got one trip, 1 or 2.
Yeah, the only one I can remember is the Genting one.
Yeah. So again, it's plan, but then there's no execution. So, but with people like this, if they say, I think there was an instance, it was bro, you want to go Genting? I was like, huh, now? I was like, let's drive now. And he just, no planning whatsoever. They just decided we want to go Genting, and they just drove their ass up just like that. And it was fun. It was like very exciting.
And you know what's interesting? Because I found myself very attracted to that kind of mindset. The mindset of like just do it. Like if it fails, then just
don't need to settle.
Not do it next time or something.
Yeah, don't do second time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm, especially after when I started working, like I'm very attracted to that kind of mindset because like I feel like if you keep thinking and not doing anything about the topic or the subject, then it's equals to not doing.
You don't have experience, you don't have anything actually, you just have a bunch of planning that didn't come to anything.
And the reason why I was attracted because I'm very different from that mindset. Like I'm very similar to like what Justin mentioned earlier. Think about the
planning
process, planning, experiment first, what pre-experiment, post-experiment, conclusion.
Yeah. Oh my god. You got planning before, during, after.
Still right reflection afterwards. I'm very similar to that kind of mindset. Like I just want to plan everything before I do. But what attracted me was because it helped me step out of my comfort zone. And I feel like that's very important because like I've always wanted, this might be very different from many people, but I've always wanted to try out something different. Like, and I feel like that even converted to converted is the right word.
Yeah, converted.
Yeah, translated into the friends that I want to mix with. There is towards the end of my uni and even until work a few months back, the friends that I've been hanging around with is very different from the friends that I made in uni as well. Mostly because I wanted to step out of the comfort zone, and stepping out and growing is what attracted me to do it. It won't always be easy. I mean, you will feel awkward once in a while, but like when you do it, when you feel like you're growing, when you feel like you're more comfortable talking to strangers that you don't know of, then that's where you know, okay, yes, I got this. Yeah, it's succeeded.
I think that when you mix with different types of people, you get to understand their backgrounds, you get to understand why they do things, how they do things, and how they actually think. And this, to me, it really helps you to break ignorance and break those types of stigmas. So it's ironic because you having a stigma is because you didn't mix with them, but mixing with them will actually help you to break the stigma.
Yeah.
So that's why we're advocating this topic today. And for me, having that opportunity to mix with them, in the end, right, I found out that myself, I don't like clubbing. But the thing is that I've always been curious about it because I was never allowed to do it. So even like CC, to be frank, I've never experienced it. I cannot judge myself whether I'll enjoy it or not. But for clubbing, going to bars, I don't really enjoy it. Doesn't mean I don't like the people that do it. Yeah, it doesn't mean I just don't like the activity. I still hang out with the people that do that, but outside of that setting.
I think gaining the perspective about like people's background and how it affects them is one thing. But the other part that I really enjoy while mixing with different people is you get to find out more about yourself as well. Yeah, I think that's what I briefly mentioned earlier, but find out more about yourself as in like what do you like to do, what do you enjoy doing. Sometimes you might start off like not enjoying what you're doing, but as you get to know more about the specifics of the things that you're doing, then you learn, oh shit, I actually kind of enjoy this. So that's how I started to learn more about myself by getting around with more people and finding the optimum group of people to hang out with.
And again, a lot of times we're curious. We're curious about what these people do or what they think, but the thing is that it sometimes, more often than not, stops at that curiosity. It's like, I wonder what he's thinking, and then you never go and find out. I wonder what he's like, and you never go and find out. So by actually hanging out with them, mixing around with them, you gain that fresh perspective. And again, for me, like you will never have to be curious, so you will never have that thought of like, oh, I wish I had done that, or I wish I had found out what this is like. You do it again, don't make stupid decisions like, let me try cocaine, I want to know what that's like not to that extent
And you will be happy to find out sooner or later. Like for example, right, a very good example, like during uni there's always the fucking study hard time. So 1 month before the assignment they finish already and I'm not that gung-ho bro. Then you have someone else who doesn't do assignments and wait until like the last hour, last day, then only they start doing. From the outside it feels like, oh, shit, this person is lazy as fuck, man. What do you do with your life? Don't do assignment, do what?
But about me.
As you get to know them more, then you see it, you understand more. Not him lah. He's just lazy. But there are people who do this for reasons. For him, it's more of like the adrenaline. If you do last minute, you get more creativity, you write faster or whatever. But for people, there are reasons. Sometimes it could be because they are working at night. There are some financial issues that they're facing, family issues, or whatever that it could be lah. Then you start to realize uni is more than just education more than just doing assignments. For me, uni is more of like a very good platform for me to gain perspectives of people and to understand where people come from, not to see things from only one angle. And by mixing around with people, I feel like that's a very good way to help me understand things from a lot of different angles.
Yeah, I think like university is kind of like a melting pot, because whereas in high school, right, you're kind of confined by like which state you're in. So like if I'm in Penang in high school, almost 100% of people are going to be from Penang. You're not going to have people from Perak, Terengganu, Johor coming to Penang for high school.
Yeah.
But once we enter uni, right, it's like, even for me, it was a huge culture shock, because there are so many things that happen in Selangor that are very, very different from my state. I'm not even sure if I ever told you about that or like in Penang, like how I was raised is that there's no such thing as like going Dutch.
Oh, no?
Yeah, you don't split the bill.
The fuck?
If we come out together, I will pay for you, and then next time you will pay for me or stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And it's even worse with girls, like because over there, like it's more common practice.
You
to,
got you pay lah.
Yeah, you got you pay lah. But like in KL, it's like, dude, I'm a girl, like, I'm an independent person. I can pay for myself. Like we split it halfway. You know, it was a lot of stuff for me to learn. And again, it's not a blanket statement, not all of it, but for me, where I grew up, that was how I was raised. So coming here, meeting so many different types of people with different upbringings, like Josh said, it comes with a lot of new experiences that you can actually learn from these different people, especially in university.
But I feel like the question now is that, do you think it's important, or do you think the people that you hang around with shape you and your behavior?
I think in many ways they will, because like for me, when I was with Josh, they all in like Gangbang Sekolah, yeah, we had fun times, but they also different people, they had the planners of the group, so that they were very, very meticulous. So obviously that's not my nature, but the thing is that I picked up little bits from them, because again, this really comes with a lot of self-awareness and self-growth. Because for me, I found out that I'm not a meticulous person, I'm not somebody who pays attention to detail, but I want to improve a little bit on that. I don't want to become that, but I want to just like 补回的洞in my character. So I learned from Josh, I learned from other planners, I see what they do, and I try to mimic it. But it works on the opposite end as well, because when I was with like some of my friends who were like the proactive ones that were like clubbing a lot, they're go-getters, which is something that I used to improve myself, but they made a lot of dumb decisions. But it's because they're so proactive. It's because they go and do first and think later. So they do, sometimes it works out well, sometimes it doesn't work out well. It's better than not doing anything at all. So, you know, sometimes I picked up bad habits, and eventually it's again, saying more, be self-aware about yourself. I was like, okay, I don't like this part about it, so I'll drop that, but I'll still maintain the proactiveness of the decision making.
Isn't that one of the advantages though? How? You know, to be mixing with friends that are from different spectrums. So this is like this part, Gangbang and the proactive bunch.
And yeah,
to find a good balance in between is the key, I guess.
I think it's not so much of finding that. Yeah, it's finding the balance, but for the topic of how it shapes or forms your character, I feel that you should just mix with the whole spectrum and then pick the different things that you like about it. Because again, if you were to take Josh and myself and put us in the same different type of 5, maybe you just randomly pick 5 separate groups of friends and you dump us in, I'm pretty sure that we'll come up with very differing conclusions and differing characteristics that we want to take away from. Because him as a planner and me as a more spontaneous person, we look at things differently.
Yeah, of course, I think from Justin's point of view, it's more of like, I want to take in the more, what's that word? Meticulous side of things. So I want to learn how to plan things better. I want to learn how to be more analytical with stuff. But to me, it's more of like, I want to learn more to just do it.
Yeah.
Just be brave, risk it. If it fails, just let it fail. You can always plan something else again.
Yeah.
So that's something that we will both take differently. But like one of the most important things that I still remember until now, what my ex-boss told me. He told me that you are a sum of the 5 people you hang out most with. I feel that that's something many people can deny, but the more I think about it, the more it is true to me. Like, it's not even something that you're even conscious of. A lot of times, like, we hang out with those people and it becomes like an unconscious thing where their habits are yours as well, and what they do might also be what you do. Not everything, but it's sort of like a mixture of those
influence,
people. Influence, a lot of influence. And how true is that for you?
Very much so. Very, very much so, because like I mix with different people in different seasons or different time frames of my life, and in that time frame I was doing a lot of things that they were doing. So sometimes if I mix with people, I really don't want to keep on using clubbing as an example, but it's just the one that comes to my head the easiest. Maybe I use like that and as well captain ball. Like when I was mixing with a lot, or dancing as well. So there was a time that I was dancing 24/7, and then I mixed with a lot of freelance dancers, and then when I started playing captain ball like every freaking day, then I mixed with a lot of people that played outside as well, and then I started immersing myself into the frisbee community, and you will find that because those were not my core group of friends, and it was not a core group of my life either, but there are people that sports is their life, where like it is a huge part of their inner circle, is a huge part of a lot of influence in their life as well. So the decisions that they make are very, very different from the decisions that I would make. Like they are willing to get up like maybe not 6 or 7, but like 8 or 9 in the morning every weekend to train and to play. So for us, it's more of like, oh, this is more fun for me. I'm not going anywhere with this. But for them, it is like a lot of them are in national teams, maybe state teams, So their commitment level is very, very different. So coming back to the question, I feel that like, yes, it definitely did influence me, because when I was in those circles of sports, I found my commitment to sports slowly growing. And then in the end, I had to check myself back. It's like, do I really want to walk down the path that they are walking down? Because it's not something that I'm going to commit my life to. Even gymming. Sometimes I gym 5 times a week. Sometimes I gym like once every 2 months. Yeah, but
it's better than me.
Yeah, this year is like completely zero already. But it depends on like if I am in that community, then the support group becomes like you have a lot of similar support from them. Yeah, if you gym a lot, obviously the people are going to encourage you to gym. They're not going to encourage you to do anything else. And if a lot of people play futsal, then they're going to encourage you to play futsal more, right? So I think this is just, again, it's striking a balance between understanding what do you want. So it's okay in a season of your life, maybe you're gymming a lot, and then that season changes. It could change back, but it changes because you as an individual, you're changing. So at one point in time, I tried, clubbing, I tried it a lot, and after a while, I noticed that, okay, I'm changing out this season because I realized that this activity is not something that I really enjoy. And I changed out for many different seasons, like dancing and sports, I changed out of them already because I realized that it's not something I want to take long term. So, and then unfortunately, I do lose touch with the community and the groups of friends there.
And also, I feel like passion now comes into place. And if you want to learn more about passion, that part.
We also wanted to talk about the friends or the circles that you will be mixing with when you graduate and inevitably get into a job, or if you're going to do something else, then do something else. But if you get into a corporate job or even like startup jobs, you will be mixing with different people as well.
I think this holds very true for us, because like in uni we share the same friends because of the proximity as well. We are all in the same building. Same buildings. Distance is very close. It's easy to approach them. If you want to eat, they're just like one text away, or like one way away. But after uni, it's more of like you don't meet them as often anymore, and like their effort needs to be made just to see them, just to plan something out. And a lot of us don't want to.
It's not a priority.
I'm not willing to, do that. So that's why our circle of friends are changing as well. And I feel like there is a difference after uni and during work as well, because like Justin has been hanging out with like different people and I've been hanging out with different people. But the fact that we're still doing this together shows a lot about our friendship.
And like for when you transition into a working world, I feel that obviously the environments are different, but that's why again we're advocating for you guys to start early as possible, because I think for Josh, he can really bear personal testament that during his uni days he had begun to just kind of break out that shell, really, really force himself and try his best to start mixing with different people. And I believe that when he transitioned into a working environment, I think that helped that. Right.
Yeah, I think that helped a lot, because again, by experiencing things earlier in uni, there is more space for you to fail. Like you said earlier, like space.
There's less consequence when you fail.
Yeah, the stakes aren't that high. Yeah, that's the word. Because like if you fail, okay, most you don't complete the assignment, but like if you fail at work, that would be like, you know, your income gone already, bro. so that's one thing. And also I feel like it's very important to have the line, especially between colleagues and also friends.
Friends are work.
Colleagues and friends. Yeah, for me, I don't see anything wrong for colleagues to be your friends. Like I do find it very helpful enjoyable that, you know, you can have dinner or like you can spend your weekends with them. I do find that very interesting and very nice, and I like doing that. What am I saying?
It's like a different person altogether.
But I think the key is to draw the line, like during work, where is the limit?
What can you do?
What can you do at work? Do you call the person a bitch during work? I do, and I don't see that as crossing the line, bro.
He has very different lines than a typical. Don't follow his example.
So you can see the difference between like a corporate and a startup company. Yeah, and I think the line can be drawn slightly higher in a startup company.
Evidently so. Hey, bitch.
But again, I've crossed lines before during work.
Shit.
Actually, this is very embarrassing, but like, cut that out, please. This is very embarrassing, but I started like vaping when I met my friends, my colleagues, because they are the one who introduced me into, you know, that world. There was this one time where I was vaping during working hours in the office. In the office.
So high, right?
In a small room, which is air conditioned. I thought it was okay, and there was another person beside me.
I thought it was okay. Not singing at all.
And at the same time, the head of the HR came in and saw me doing it. I wasn't like sucking it in or like inhaling or exhaling. It's sort of like she came in and the room was filled with.
You want the smoke to go?
Then I tried to, but it didn't work. She smelled everything, and she saw the smoke as well. Then immediately she asked the person beside me to like get out of the room, and she lectured me for a while. The next day, got a warning on workplace, which is like a channel for us to communicate in the office. Yeah, so not the best thing, but this is where I learned my lesson, and this is where you start to tell yourself where the line is and when to not cross the fucking line.
See, so it would have been easier if you had done that in the university library, because it's not as bad.
Oh yeah.
See, if you had done that in the uni library, okay, air-conditioned room, maybe not a good idea to smoke.
No, the problem is not the air condition, it's more of like in the office.
Idiot. At least now he knows when he fresh grad. Imagine like mid-level he's smoking his
Better to draw the fucking line.
Yeah. And again, it comes with the experience. So again, we always want you guys to like putting yourselves out there. And by doing that, again, as early as you can, so that the consequences are lower, there's less stakes, there's less on the line, so that when you come to later on, if you work, or even if in business actually, like making mistakes with people, relational screw-ups, it's a lot easier if it's done earlier on, so that you get the idea of what is acceptable and what is not.
And I think it is inevitable when you mix with people, because like I said earlier, you are the sum of like the people that you hang around a lot with. So when you're working, I'm pretty sure that, you know, if it's like a day job, 9 to 5, 8 to 6. 8 to 5, 8 to 4, 2 hours, 8 to 4, 9 to 5.
So I'm the math tutor, he's not, obviously.
10 to 7, 10 to 6, 10 to 6.
Plus minus also cannot. Luckily he's not my student.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you're working like those type of jobs, then the people that you're hanging out with will be mostly your office people. And I think, again, how much do we take in, how much of their habit do we take in is something that we should really consider on. Sometimes it's uncontrollable, but like the decision whether to engage in the same behavior or not. For example, vaping for me, going to like clubs, bars at night, do you want to do that with them or not? If you're open to try out, then I don't see a reason why not. But like the decision you make while you're in the bar, or even to go or not actually, it's something that you can always change lah. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I feel that like you making the decision to try things does not give you the leeway to do dumb shit and then blame it on, even worse, blame it on the friend that brought you to that place. Because it's totally fine for you to like maybe walk in a dark alley, but you walking in a dark alley waving money around, maybe not the best decision. So like you going to a club or a pub is perfectly fine, but then getting very, very intoxicated and picking a fight with somebody and then later on ending up in a jail cell, that's on you. It's nothing to do with the bar. The bar is just there. What you do or do not do, that's completely up to you already. So
just bear in mind that you always have control over things that you do.
What I think just now when Josh mentioned the word uncontrollable, it's more of like who is in your surrounding. Like if you're going to work and those are the people there, then that's a little bit out of your control. But what you then decide to do, then that's totally up to you already.
Who do you spend your time with? What do you do with them? If they ask you to do something, it's still your choice to do it or not. And your justification behind that is also up to you. Yep. So I guess, but again, like, because our experience in work is only like 1 to 2 years, so I won't say that this is like a very generalizable topic that we can talk about, especially for work. People who have been working for like 10 to 20 years might have something different to say, and that we might leave it to another episode, you know.
We can only give you guys our perspectives from fresh grads because that's what we are, that's what we believe. So I think like for the working segment, unfortunately, we cannot give you guys that much insight into it. Only again, like Josh said, 1 to 2 years. This is the experience that we have, and that's the experience that we freely share with you guys.
Yep. Hopefully, it'll bring value to you guys.
Yeah. So, ending note. Don't vape inside the office. I didn't hear that story until just now, actually.
It's embarrassing.
I wonder why. Alright, so that is a wrap for today's topic. So usually when we have a guest, we always like to ask my favorite question. But since there's no guest, what we were going to do is just give our 2 cents about the topic, about the friends and whether they shape your character today. So for me, it's just, again, I really hope that you guys will actually go out there to meet new people, mix with different circles of friends. And again, it doesn't mean that by mixing with them, you will create lasting friendships or you're going to be with them for the rest of your life. It just means that you're open to them, you're open to learning different perspectives of them, learning different, gaining new experiences, and also understanding how different people think. And I think that in itself is one of the biggest contributions that university will add to your life.
For me, mixing around with different people during university definitely gave me like a better perspective of people who come from different backgrounds, because like what we mentioned earlier, stereotypes. It's something that, again, it's their idea, and there's nothing we can do, because like according to like psychology, it's like something we used to survive until now. We tend to stereotype a lot of stuff, and this is how we have sometimes the wrong mindset about people. And by mixing around with people, by understanding more, by creating bonds that will only lead to understanding people more, you start to learn more about like why people do this, and you start to learn more about like it's not all bad or it's not like all good as well. So this is something that I believe I can take away from this experience.
Not good or bad, just different.
Yeah. Did I say good or bad?
No, just like that's like one of the personal little sayings that I love. There's nothing that's good or bad.
Yeah.
It just
again, there's no specific people or specific type of friends that we can mix with, but it's more of like based on yourself.
Specific to you, specific to you. Yeah. So that is a wrap for this episode, and we will see you guys next time. See ya.